on today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Tower of God, Episode 5, The Crown's Fate. Well, here we are again, another Wednesday and another episode of Tower of God. This is slowly becoming my favorite new anime of this season. There is just so much potential in the series. I mean, God, look at the character designs alone. Not to mention the interesting story, cool and unique concepts we're just starting to expand upon, and the aesthetics. I mean, first and foremost, I have to say, when compared to other anime, the vibrance in this series alone should give it an A+. I mean, comparatively, other animes are usually dull colors, very muted. You only see, super colorfuls in the Blu-ray releases, maybe because it's a form of censorship, maybe it's, I'm not 100% sure exactly why, but when I watch other series online, the colors look a little dull. This one, if you have a yellow or a red, they fucking look yellow or red. I mean, Jesus. But in terms of overall quality, you're looking at high quality art, high quality animation. The compositions are amazing. The animation feels fluid and dynamic. The effects are like really fucking good. I've seen several effects so far with the rain and the light. Really gives the scene sense of realism. And the audio is on par with the visual. The music, the sound effects, the voice actors are doing a phenomenal job. Overall, this series is just a joy to watch. And with its large fan base coming from the webtoon, I've been taking my time and, really trying to give it the respect a new series of its standing kind of deserves. I mean, I go into every new series with respect, but this one I've treated a little bit more diligently than others. So when I make mistakes, I mean, I like to correct them. And supposedly last week's I did make a couple oopsies that I'm here to correct. First and foremost, I believe I referred to the 13th month series as a sword series, but in reality, there are actually several different kinds of weapon classifications in the tower, as we soon make my other correction. So in reality, it's just referred to as the 13-month series. Rolling into the other mistake, I believe I referred to as, the Green April as a sword that extends, kind of like Renji Abarai's Zabimaru from Bleach. But in reality, its classification is a hook, basically a weapon that can extend like a whip. When I was referring it to, its classification of a sword, I was going for its base form rather than its function. If you look at its compressed state, I see a hilt, I see a guard, and I see a blade-like protrusion. I mean, given that silhouette, can you really blame me? But in reality, it is considered a hook, which actually goes on to an interesting topic. Something you guys let me know was the changing of Black March. Now, in the webtoon, Black March is actually a needle, which I believe you guys told me was the most common weapon in the tower. Basically, I mean, it looks like a giant needle. I don't know how else to put it, but in the anime, they've changed it to more a katana. What's even more interesting is that there seems to be no conclusive agreement of why it was actually changed. Whatever the reason, my only hope is that it doesn't impact the story too much. Like I said, I'm anime only. I have not read the webtoon. I plan on, visiting it afterwards to see the differences. So only you guys would let me know, just yes or no, don't spoil it. Does the fact that the Black March is a needle impact its story? Like, could this completely change something going forward? Or is it completely aesthetic and won't have much impact? Like I said, let me know in the comments below, yes or no. Now, besides all the mispronunciations, which I will attempt to correct in today's episodes if they come up, I think that's it. I don't think I made too many mistakes. And of course, today we're not gonna be able to take notes because you guys did inform me that I should be doing a live reaction of episode 5. Obviously, this is the climactic part in the Crown game. Last week's episode gave us Team Bam, or you guys told me it was actually Team Rack. Either way, our cast of the three main, the trio has entered the Crown game, right? With Bam's Black March and possibly his life on the line, they need to do everything to fucking win. And right out of the gate, as everyone is going for the unclaimed crown, like I said, all these badass characters, I mean, like I said, the character design's fucking awesome. Out of nowhere, Kun is easily able to snatch it with super speed that looks so fast it creates a vortex. Personally, I would have went with a flash step ask with a sonic boom to scare everyone, but hey, that's my opinion. But yeah, out of nowhere, he easily has the crown. He begins to place it on his head, but oops, just kidding. It's time to mind-fuck all these other people. Using his, what I consider a fucking like wizard bag, he puts the crown in there and is absorbing fucking attacks coming from a fucking magic wand mage and shit. Like, it's a great action sequence, to be honest. And then in one last mindfuck to his opponents, decides to throw a crown, which turns out to be a fake decoy, yes, created in this bag. Lo and behold, when he captured everyone's attention once again, who is sitting on the throne, probably waiting to be crowned? It's Bam. So yeah, and we end that episode with, you know, the girl asking the quote unquote Rachel? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, who knows? If she's okay with killing, which she implies yes. So yeah, this is where we're picking up today's episode. And I'm, like I said, I'm really fucking excited. And this intro, the setup is already like 8 minutes long. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Like I said, give him one last mind fuck. Oh god, did you see the magic bag? Zoro. Okay, so the bag does have the ability to duplicate things. Oh, here we go. Rack finally gets to fucking fight. Oh god, look at the force of that spear. Oh shit. I thought that was this piece of fucking hair. This whole time it was a fucking, like a bandana? You mean a bag that can also copy so that it can do other things. Okay, so there was a needle. Yeah, so the series does have needles. Yeah, I'm with you, Rack. What the fuck? You say that, but in reality, I'm gonna see some fucking backstabbing. Called it. Oh shit! Did it kill her? Wait, did he make previous alliances? So he gathered allies. Oh. Okay, so he's literally referring to his baggage as like a bag, the actual thing, not his emotional baggage. Or was it a double entendre? And even the bandana was actually a significant role. Tying it up was the go. So are these bars real, or is he just eating them and they're disappearing like the crowns? So I do have a question. Are these teams permanent? This is just like preliminary matches, correct? To get the ability to actually climb the tower, right? So are these three a team forever? Or as soon as you pass the initial preliminary tests, can you go on? Okay, so obviously the hooded people are entering now, and this is a group we need to focus on. Not only does it have this giant fucking dude, it has the potential Rachel. Dude, I want to see that guy's design so fucking bad. Oh, the fucking gimp is doing work, man. She's out there. Yo, I am loving this animation. Oh, she's got little devil horns going on. Or just one. Oh, did you see her eyebrows, her eyelashes? That's a pretty cool gradient. Are they really helping us though, or are they, you know, have a different motivation altogether? Oh, backstab. Oh, they're just running out the clock? Uh-oh. Yo, that had some fucking weight behind it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Oh my god. Yo, is this Black March? Yeah. Yo, you gotta give them props for their use of color versus black and white. This scene is fucking badass. Yo, it's great to see Yura again, but I'm so confused / excited about what just fucking happened. Yeah. I assumed it was to get the hooded people out. Oh shit, a knock had possession of Black March. Oh, so we see another irregular. What was his name? Uruk Mazzanio? I don't have to fucking rewatch this. What? He became Shinsu? Oh, so it is her. Oh, shit. Oh, of course you cut out. All right, let me go ahead and give this one more rewatch and I'll come back and do my afterthought. Okay, I seem to have fibbed a little bit. I decided to take notes upon giving this episode another rewatch. Why? Because I don't want anything to fall by the wayside, and I primarily wanted to focus on the conversation between Yu Sung and Lororo. Why? Because I was initially under the impression that the crown game was to get rid of the hooded group, and it turns out that wasn't the case. Also, there was quite a bit of lore and interesting aspects in the conversation itself, giving us a couple interesting terms and even a possible key figure in the first, official irregular we've seen named. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now, commenting on the episode overall, I absolutely fucking loved it. It was an action-packed thrill ride that had me on the edge of my seat. Once again, the showcase of today's episode is the animation. Not only was it fluid and dynamic, they did not cut any fucking corners. It seemed every frame was its own keyframe, barely any tweens, and there was definitely no copying or pasting that I could see. Everything felt real and had weight to it. I fucking loved it. And I was quite lucky too, starting out today's episode that give us some more information on one of the more interesting aspects of last week's episode, Kuhn's bag. Yes, it does have the ability to copy objects, as we see him pour out a mountain of crowns that, yes, enrages the entirety of round 3, but of course, Rak, he's super strong, and with a simple swing and a throw of his mighty spear, he is easily able to dispatch all his opponents, thus winning round 3 for Team Bam. Focusing back on the bag though, it's implied that there's more than meets the eye when it comes to it. Obviously, I have to give props to Shibisu picking up on, the bag's ability, as well as dissecting Kuhn's strategy, even though, his team's definitely not giving him props he deserves. He's definitely a lot smarter than I gave him credit for too. But of course, Rak questions the bag. Oh, that's not a infinite chocolate bar dispenser? No, of course not. That's such a limited capability. Of course, Bam's just complimenting it. Oh yeah, the bag that can copy anything, that's pretty amazing. Kuhn then gives us a line that says a bag that can also copy anything. So it implies that there's something more going on with this bag than we know, and we kind of see that coming up in the next sequence, as it seems Kuhn has prepared for a lot of eventualities. In this one, he needed allies, and it seems he was able to store actual living entities in this bag. 3 to be precise, and they play a pivotal role in round 4. And although they seem to have been battered, bruised, and completely, I don't know, that girl was basically hiding in the first round. This makeshift team of collected allies is doing work. And honestly, I can't tell if some of these people are actually fucking dying or not. Like, is this a death series? Are these people really dying? Because that tentacled mouth alien monster picking up the red-haired, I think she was a chick. I heard a snap and a crunch, and she just falls lifeless to the ground like that. That was pretty fucking cringy. But yeah, these guys are doing work and Kun's just literally laying back. Oh, and by the way, Kun's design, I thought that was just a unique, deeper blue, head accessory. I didn't know it was a fucking like hair tie bandana type shit. I thought that was a piece of his hair. No, he ties his hair back and decides to take a nap on Bam's lap. So yeah, letting his allies do the work for him, they completely kick everyone else's ass. But now that round 4 is over, the allies have decided to call it quits. It's round 5. Our heavy hitters entered the game, and right off the bat, the Gimp is out for blood and even gets a pretty hefty hit on Rack. I was not expecting that. She seems to be super nimble. Like I said, this is where we get a lot of that very fluid and dynamic animation in her like flipping over him and stuff. Definitely an episode highlight. Now, as this Gimp is going to attack Bam though, one of the hooded figures interrupts her. It's actually a single horned girl that takes the brunt of this attack and begins to fight the Gimp. And I have to say, her design's pretty fucking legit. She's very cute. I love the gradient on her eyelashes. But then again, why is she, taking on the Gimp that was about to knock the crown person out? Who knows? But it seems this whole team is standing guard as we see the other girl, aka Rachel ? And even, the big bladed cleaver dude standing guard of Bam. But of course, this Gimp is not alone. It's a team comprised of 3, and Kun has his own battle to worry about, as so does Rack. And I have to say, there is a nice Easter egg in this episode. When Rack says first comes Rock, I was like, oh shit, we drop in Hunter x Hunter again? Like this, oh shit, it just gives me the warm and fuzzies. But then, cut to Kun, and his bag is becoming so fucking clutch. The move where he throws the infinite knives up in the air, not only distracting his opponent, but like after he gets a nice backstab on him, I'm pretty sure those blades fell to the ground where the guy was laying, so was he impaled? I don't know. That's definitely like a double bladed attack. I fucking love that. Focusing back on the battle between the one-horned girl and the Gimp, it seems they're pretty evenly matched, except the one-horned girl is definitely boasting, and of course, right when she said she's gonna destroy the mask and ruin that face of hers, what happens? Her fucking heel breaks. I mean, I've never worn heels, but it definitely seems like a footwear you should not be fighting in. Taking this opportunity, she goes in for what looks like it's gonna be attack on Bam, but then decides to attack Rachel. I'm not 100% sure why, but yeah, she gets a pretty bloody fucking hit on her, and this forces Bam to leave the throne. Then we see the Gimp get a hit when Bam is like taking, guard of this possible Rachel. I mean, it's Rachel. I mean, come on. Bashes him in the back of the fucking head, and we just see blood start to pool on the ground. She's going in for another fucking attack, and then an explosion of Shinsu. At which first I assumed it was maybe a possible ignition of Black March. You guys said in the first episode that actually was Black March using ignition to break the ball. But I thought, okay, here we go again. Black March is coming out. But in reality, we found in a later episode that's not it. But we see this giant swell of Shinsu, this golden power erupt from Bam, and it's just this all-inspiring music. Like, something important is currently going down. Like, holy shit. And this literally leaves Gimp. Like, half of her mask is gone. We see it is a woman with red hair. Blood is pouring out of her face when she's covered with her hand. Bam is fucking pissed and goes in for a slice, and then all of a sudden it cuts to black and white. Everyone is stopped in their tracks. It looks like Black March maybe has the ability to stop time, because literally she shows up out of nowhere, comments that Bam has lost control. Hey, little boy, maybe you should have focused on, the reunion first, and it's sleepy time. Like, this whole sequence was so literally, I was just like, I don't even think I talked during the live reaction. I was like, holy shit, like, what the fuck is going on? But of course, that's the end. Then we cut to Princess Yuri, and she has even more people with her now. We have some dude that looks like he's playing on a fucking PSP, and we have some giant fucking dude with scars on his face. Like, it looks like she has a larger cast of crew, more than just Evan, her little midget attaché. It seems she's still completely enamored with the newbie and wants to show him off to these other people, so it looks like she's trying to find Bam still. Yet the pathways between the floors or the testing areas are very confusing. Again, I really do want to see a more detailed, or at least discover a more detailed layout of this tower. That'd be very interesting to see. So now we cut to the conversation I was most intrigued about between Yu Hun Sung and Laroro. Now, we find out that there is literally no winner to the crown game. That explosion we saw saw actually disintegrated the crown itself, and basically everyone is completely exhausted, so Lororo is giving them a 3-day break. But at this point, he's also questioning Hansung's, intentions. Like, why exactly did we need the crown game? During this little flashback of Lororo, going on about that, we see that Anak does have the Black March, which is, it really does show a little bit of her character. She wasn't influenced or emotionally swayed by the unconscious Bam and the performance he put on. It was a bet, he lost, and she took her reward. But now she has 2 of the 13-month series. She has Green April and Black March. Does she want to collect all of them, or is it just the fact that it was in his possession that she wanted to get it? I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, she definitely took the sword. And like I said, Lororo is questioning, the crown game in itself. The hooded group, I thought too, was, the goal. Let's get rid of them. Their power may disrupt the tower itself. Anyone who can knock this group out, you automatically get a pass, blah, blah, blah. They never went for the crown, which was quite confusing to me. As I said during there, like, why the fuck are they guarding Team Bam? But also it seems that Head-On has a rule in place that no previous acquaintances can take the same test, and it seems Rachel and Bam know each other, so why would Yu Hansung do a crown game that literally breaks Head-On's rule? And this is where we get an interesting reply from him. He goes, why do we do tests? Obviously, this question is rhetorical because he comes out and tells us, tests are not used to determine if someone is worthy to climb the tower, but instead it's to get rid of those whose thoughts or powers would create chaos. Obviously, Bam seems to be the focal point, as we see Lororo cut to, instantly thinking, oh, it must be Bam's power. But also it seems, Kun has some very anti-establishment ideals going on. Fuck the rules. I think that's dumb. I'm creating an alliance. We're going to change this tower. And like, he seems very anti-tower. So could he be referring to Kun as well? Or is it just a coincidence that 2 people that could disrupt the tower are on the same fucking team and they just decided to pull Rack down with them? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, but it looks the overall goal was to get rid of Bam. Now, with the conversation pretty much over and leaving, Lororo has one more question for you. Have you ever seen anyone use Shinsu without constraint, without a contract with an administrator? Now, that whole question is very interesting. What do you mean by contract with an administrator? There's not a lot to go on there, but it seems there's some limitation when manipulating Shinsu. And even you is like, hey, it goes against the tower's law to do that, but it's not, impossible. It's very rare, as we see with the irregular, and we get our first named irregular, Eric Mazino. I believe I said that right. Who, by the way, has a super fucking badass tattoo. And now I'm completely intrigued with this motherfucker, who I've only seen the back of. That basically ends the conversation. Now, when walking out, we get an explanation of what happened to Bam in that final round. In Lororo's inner monologue, going over what happened, Bam wasn't merely controlling Shinsu. He became Shinsu itself. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, I'm not even sure how to actually understand that. But before we go any further in depth, the episode basically ends. Not only is Bam still unconscious with the test about to restart pretty fucking soon, who shows up knocking at the door? Yes, it's Rachel. And she literally says, hello, I am Rachel. So now we know for sure this is Rachel. Yeah, wow. Today's episode was fucking great. Wow. That was, like I said, that was a pretty intense episode. We got great action, great animation, more info on interesting aspects. Overall, I loved it. So with all that being said, and hopefully more Tower of God next Wednesday, fingers crossed, I cannot wait for future episodes.